Let's show their faces. Don't know.
DJ 630 करे ठीक है
5 घर पे है तो मैंने फोटो इनकी रजिस्ट्रेशन वगैरह किया होगा
यहाँ पे तो यही है उससे बड़ा भी था एक फालतू में दे सकता है यहाँ पे कहते 15,000
थैंक यू
So there is a slight delay because NTPCSA के system में थोड़ा problem है. So yeah, we'll be starting in hopefully 5 more minutes.
We will go to style.
Thank you. I like the power I hold.
Hello. So there is issue in audio which we are solving because we have a lot of great videos to present to you. So there will be a little delay. But okay. So have you seen any? So have you seen any videos of ITC? ओ अच्छा, फिर तो बहुत बढ़िया है। आज काफी वीडियोस देखने मिलेंगे। स्टार्टिंग वहां से करेंगे जो सबसे अच्छे वीडियोस और हम बोरिंग चीजें हटा देंगे। टेंशन मत लो, आपका आधा घंटा हम सेव कर लेंगे और बोरिंग चीजें हम हटा देंगे उसमें से, ठीक है? सच में करना है वापिस से फ्रीबी वाला। लास्ट टाइम हमने किया था एक चीज, थोड़ा फेलियर हुआ था, बट नहीं सब तो नहीं कर सकते। लास्ट टाइम वाला वापस से करना है। किसी को पता है लास्ट टाइम क्या हुआ था क्रेडिट्स के लिए? पार्ट 1 के अंदर सबको दे दी थी। हाँ, इंस्टा वाला। हाँ, इंस्टा वाला पता है ना, फॉलोअर में क्या किया था? 2 लोगों को मिला था, तीसरे को नहीं मिल पाया क्योंकि इंस्टा पे लोग अलग अलग नाम से सेव करते हैं इसीलिए। पर इस बार करना है क्या?
अभी कर दिया, रहा था
क्या?
जब प्रेजेंटेशन चली थी ना तभी कर दिया था, मैं पहले से बैठा हुआ था।
अच्छा ऐसा है, तो अनफॉलो कर दो अभी और फॉलो करना वापिस से। सच में करना है क्या?
हम सबसे
ठीक है, हेलो। हाँ ठीक है, रिव्यू की बात हो गई। जो अनप्लान था पर तुम्हारे लिए कर लेते हैं, ठीक है? ज्यादा बड़ी तो नहीं है फ्रीबी, बट काफी अच्छी है, ठीक है? तो लास्ट टाइम फॉलो का किया था, इस बार अभी फॉलो नहीं करना है क्योंकि काफी कम लोग हैं ऑलरेडी। इस बार हम कुछ अलग करते हैं। क्या? हाँ, कमेंट कर सकते हैं। क्या? ऑनलाइन कुछ नहीं, क्यों? नया कुछ करना है, ठीक है? एक काम कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? तो कुछ अलग करते हैं। अभी ऑनलाइन वाला नहीं कर रहे हैं, कह रहे हो तो अच्छा ऐसा है। ठीक है, अभी स्टेज पे इनोवेट करना थोड़ा मुश्किल हो रहा है, बट ट्राई करता हूँ, ठीक है? कौन बोल रहा था इनोवेट? वाह यार, चलो 3 लोग मुझे दिख गए जो एक दूसरे को कर रहे थे। तुम दोनों आ जाओ पीछे, आ जाओ स्टेज पे। हाँ, एक को मिलेगी 3 में से। चलो कोई भी 4 जल्दी से फ्लैश लाइट ऑन करो, जिसके पहले होगी वो 4 आएंगे। उसके बाद अरे भाई, मैंने तो आगे वालों को देखा है। अभी ऑन कर, ऑफ कर दो अभी के लिए। चलो 5 लोग हैं ना, ठीक है? अभी आज क्या करने वाले? स्पोर्ट्स सोलिड चल रहा है, टेक है, टेक का कुछ करते हैं ना। सबसे पहली पैंट उतारेगा। ठीक है, कितने लोग? 5 लोग हैं, 5 क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे, अलग अलग मैनेजर अलग अलग पूछेंगे, ठीक है? चलेगा? अपने अपना पूछ लेंगे, ठीक है? और जो भी सबसे सही रहेगा उसको मिलेगा। एमसी क्या होता है? ठीक है, सबसे पहले मैं स्टार्ट करता हूँ, बाकी 4 लोग आ जाएंगे हमारे मेंबर, ठीक है? ठीक है, आईआईटी बॉम्बे का जो इंटर आईटी में प्रेजेंट करता है उस टीम को क्या कहते हैं? नहीं, फोन नहीं। क्योंकि ये जो किसी को पता है? हाँ, नहीं, आईआईटी बॉम्बे की इंटर आईटी टीम को क्या बोलते हैं? इसमें से किसी को पता है? पता है? हाँ? बॉम्बे?
उसके दूसरे हाथ में फोन है, देख लो।
और कोई?
बगल वाले क्या?
सॉरी, चलो कोई नहीं कर पाया ये वाला। सेकंड क्वेश्चन पे जाते हैं। नहीं, ऐसे कुछ नाम नहीं है। बॉम्बे 76। अरे इतना इजी आंसर था कि इंस्टा पे है बहुत। हाँ ठीक है, चलो और इजी वाले आंसर, इससे इजी वाले क्या हो सकते हैं?
सबसे नया हॉस्टल कौन सा है? कौन सा है? कौन सा हॉस्टल कागजों में?
तो एक और क्वेश्चन है। टीएल सुना है सबने? टीम क्लास लैब सुना है? कौन सी ईयर में बना था वो?
2018, 2019, 2020, भाई यूनियन ले ले सबका।
कौन सा? फिर से बोलो एक बार। कंफर्म करो, इसमें से एक आंसर सही है सबका। तीन आंसर सही है। 17। चलो सही है, इसको पॉइंट मिल गया। 2014। अरे 5 पॉइंट होंगे ना, जो जीतेगा उसको मिलेगा, टेंशन मत ले। तो तेरे पास 1 पॉइंट है, बाकी किसी के पास नहीं है। चलो, अरे क्वेश्चंस बनाने पड़ते हैं ना, मैं थोड़ी प्रिपेयर आ रहा हूँ। अरे यार
मैक्सिमम ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटी पूछ लो इससे। यार कर यार। क्या कर भाई? भाई नीचे आ नहीं होगा। मैं तो आ ही रहा था, मेरी जगह तू गया है।
आईआईटी का नीचे आएगा ना, एक और क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं जो हमें रिव्यू देने वाले हैं। वो टेक टीम से आ रहा है ये क्वेश्चन, ठीक है? तो अच्छे से आंसर देना, उनको शायद से अच्छा लगे तो दूसरी रिव्यू भी दे दे, ठीक है?
Okay, so which rocket is called the workhorse of ISRO?
PSLV। तीन रॉकेट
तुम शांत रहना जरा। बोल।
6 PSLV है, GSLV है और एक है मार्क 3। PSLV के 2 मार्क है।
चलिए इसका एक पॉइंट ले लो।
बोला
अच्छा ओके, एक टेक टीम के रिलेटेड। सो आईआईटी बॉम्बे रॉकेट टीम रिसेंटली पार्टिसिपेटेड इन स्पेसपोर्ट अमेरिका कप। जो हमने रॉकेट लॉन्च किया था उसका नाम क्या था? रॉकेट का नाम क्या था? रॉन्ग। एनी गेसेस फ्रॉम द ऑडियंस? बोलो। हाँ, करेक्ट आंसर अध्ययन। वो उसने बोल दिया।
चलो, दो के पास है अभी, एक पॉइंट है। लास्ट क्वेश्चन है, जो सबसे पहले आंसर देगा उसका है।
तीन आंसर नहीं दे। आपका नाम
दोनों में से एक को देना है, इसलिए दोनों में से एक को देना है ना। चलो बाकी सब तो चले ही जाओ, दो में से एक ही। चलो लास्ट क्वेश्चन है, ठीक है, कुछ बनाने दो। ऑलमोस्ट तैयार है, अभी स्टार्ट होने वाला है। वाह यार, चलो आईटीसी का नहीं ओ यार, गलत
में से सब यूजर ओरिएंटेशन पार्ट 1 में आए थे ना, पार्ट 1 में आए थे। लाइव स्ट्रीम तो नहीं होगा। अरे भाई आईटीसी का फुल फॉर्म तो नहीं पूछ रहे। आईटीसी के मैस्कॉट का नाम क्या है जो आईटीसी यूजर ओरिएंटेशन पार्ट 1 में लॉन्च हुआ था? बताओ सही है क्या?
तो ये गलती है, ये नहीं था, तुम लोगों ने उस टाइम सुना नहीं था, वो टेक्निकल ग्रूट का एक शॉर्ट फॉर्म है। तुम दोनों से जल्दी से आंसर दो। नहीं नहीं नहीं, सुनो इनको। टेक्निकल ग्रूट जल्दी जल्दी। अरे यार
मैंने टेक्निकल झूठ बोला, मेरे को तो कुछ मिला ही नहीं।
टेक्निकल ग्रूट है ही नहीं पर आंसर यार। चलो नहीं पता है, ट्राई करो। टी और ग्रूट, टी ग्रूट। इसको छोटा करो। टी ग्रूट नहीं है पर उसे छोटा और जी को हटाओ। यार ये दोनों को आंसर देना था। इसने क्या बोला था एक मिनट?
झूठ बोला ना यार।
इसको 2 पॉइंट मिले, तुझे 1 पॉइंट, इसको 1 पॉइंट।
डांस करवाना चाहिए था। 5 मिनट में चालू होगा।
अरे डांस करने के लिए कोई तैयार नहीं हुआ, मैंने तो बोला था डांस करवा। अरे ठीक है, मतलब अब टेक्निकल इशू सॉर्ट हो गया है, सो विल मूव ऑन टू द ओरिएंटेशन। सो गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन, टुडे वी आर हियर। It's been a long day. Good evening everyone. अब good evening भी बोल दो उतने जोश से। अच्छा ठीक है। Good evening. Today we are here for the T of IIT again. Tech. Basically, clubs में we told you that you can explore your hobbies. Technical teams offer you a bit more. They give you a position of responsibility and lets you work on high-tech tech where you get to do your own research and build stuff with your hand. So today we are here for basically a fun-filled orientation where you get to see what our student teams have achieved both in India and abroad. Several of our tech teams went to outside of the country for various international competitions over the period of the summer, and you can go to इंस्टीट्यूट के पैसे से बाहर जाने को मिलेगा, तो आई थिंक इट्स अ प्रीटी गुड डील. So yeah, that's what we're here for, and we'll also be seeing our institute communities, 3 institute communities, namely Cybersecurity community, AI community, and InstiX. So moving on to the orientation, I would like to invite our PNTT Akshat Verma to come on the stage and speak a few words.
Hello guys, I am Akshat Verma, the projects and technical teams nominee. So you can see already the name technical teams. तो कितने लोग पिछले ओरिएंटेशन में आए थे और कितने लोगों को भगा दिया गया था? ग्रेट. सो तुम लोग आज 5 बजे आके बैठ गए, ये बढ़िया था. आई होप कि आगे के इवेंट्स में भी तुम लोग इतने जल्दी आ जाओगे एंड होपफुली कोई सिस्टम इश्यूज नहीं होंगे एंड हम टाइम पे स्टार्ट करेंगे रिगार्डलेस ऑफ टुडेज डिले. सो पिछले ओरिएंटेशन में व्हाट ऑल डिड यू गाइस सी? रूट तो देखा ही था, बट what did we represent in the last orientation? What was the section of ITC we represent? Yeah, so we represented the technical clubs, right? Today we represent the 2 other sections of ITC to you, that is the technical communities and the technical teams. So just a brief about both of them, starting with the technical teams. So you all have heard a lot about different teams. You would have heard about team ITB Racing, you have heard about satellite team, you have heard about UMIC, you have heard a lot of teams, right? So what do they do and how are they different from the clubs? So basically you can say we have a lot of teams in a lot of domains. And if you want to do hardcore tech, if you want to do a lot more involved deep tech, yes, tech teams are the place for you. How many of you have heard of Pratham? Can anyone tell what's Pratham? Can anyone just come here and speak? That's a different story, but what we are discussing here is the satellite. Yeah. So Pratham was a student satellite launched by our very own ITB student satellite team, and that was launched by ISRO in 2016. So yes, that's the technical rigor with which technical teams work. How many of you have heard of Idea Forge? Idea Forge. How many of you have heard of Idea Forge? How many of you know that the founders of Idea Forge were once a part of UMIC, one of the technical teams of IIT Bombay? How many of you have seen the rocket team launching their rocket very recently in Spaceport America? Alright, so rocket team is fairly a very new team and they've still achieved that great feat. So yeah, that's the rigor with which the technical teams work with. We have teams working on submarines, we have teams working on sustainable housing, we have teams working on hardcore robotics and a lot more. Then what about communities? So what do communities present? So all the times we see something in the midway of two extremes, right? In tech teams you do extreme hardcore tech, in clubs you follow a hobby. Tech communities are a way between them. If you find yourself middle between the tech teams and the clubs, yes, the communities are a place for you. And we have 3 tech communities here today for presenting. That is Cybersecurity, InstiX and AI community. They will be presenting you a lot in detail what they are. We also have some more communities coming up like healthcare and good food initiative and things like that. So without any further delay, I would like to call the tech teams here. And I think the first tech team we have is Shunya. Alright guys, so welcome Team Shunya. They are for sustainable housing and they've recently won the overall 2nd place in solar decathlon. So that's a sustainable housing competition. Over to you, Shunya.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. We are Team Shunya. If you are wondering, Shunya stands for Sustainable Housing for Urbanizing Nations by Young Aspirants. Woo! Okay. Next slide, please. So these are some of our previous projects. Project H0, in where we build a sustainable house in France. Project Solarize, we build a house in China. Project Daksh in Mumbai, and our most recent project, Project Vivan, that we built on campus. And if you want, you can check it out. It's been built near the plot where S7 used to be. Alright, let's go. Alright. So for the last decade, Team Shunya have been participating in the Solar Decathlon Build Challenge. And we have won many prizes. Recently, our team secured 2nd place in the Solar Decathlon Build Challenge USA. So that's a picture there, and along our journey, we were honored to meet many prominent personalities such as Honorable Minister Prakash Javadekar and many more. Okay, now I'll tell you a bit about Project Vivan. We've constructed a net positive energy house, which is also net zero carbon and water residential house. Unique feature of the house includes use of agricultural waste. And we have also developed an in-house system for humidity control. We've built Project Vivan taking in mind the climate conditions in Mumbai and the landscape. Alright. So let me just walk you through the envelope of the house. The house is not built with concrete. We have not used bricks, but we've used eco-board, which is the agricultural waste I talked about. And giving tribute to the traditional Indian houses, we've incorporated jalis, which help in cooling and concealment of spaces. We've also used movable shading, external movable shadings, which are shadings you can change. You can move them according to the sunlight or seasons. Alright, so floating structure. A house is movable, so you can move it from place to place. And when dismembered, the house is 88% renewable, recyclable. And we also have integrated structural space for 24 solar panels. And this is the interior of the house. We have tried to incorporate as much sustainable product as we could. It's the same. Alright, so this is one of the in-house system that we've developed, HVAC, heating, ventilation and air conditioning system. So we've developed a system which is highly efficient in humidity control, and we've used liquid desiccant in that. Usually houses use 50% of the energy for the ventilation and heating system, but Team Shunya uses 30 to 40%. And we've also developed an automation system, an app called Home Assistant, and it's very efficient, it's user friendly, and it's an open source. Summing it all up, our unique features include automation and the app, HVAC system, energy performance. We've also used a software called Solar PV. It's a software which we use to calculate the energy produced by the solar panels, from which we've subtracted the energy consumption of the appliances used in the house. And we've come to the conclusion that the house is net positive. So we're giving back more energy to the grid than we're consuming. Water saving, we have grey water recycling system, we have rainwater recycling system and plumbing fixtures. So you can see this is a picture of our house, Project Vivan, and these are some of the pictures of Team Shunya in USA. Alright, the most important question. Why you should join us? Hands-on experience, you'll learn a lot and you'll get to work on the field. And exposure to industry. Team Shunya has contacts with 40 plus industries in different domains. And we have a vast alumni network. We get to work on projects such as the HVAC, and you can later on get to patent it. Like we are planning on patenting our personalized HVAC system, and you will get to develop innovative technology. And yes, of course, it's an amazing resume point. Alright, and these are some of our sponsors. That's it. Thank you for listening.
Okay, any guesses? Total cost of the house? 50,000? How in Mumbai? Damn.
5 lakh.
Okay, 1 crore. People get 5 lakh. Okay. Raise hands. 50 or 15? 50. No one is close. Okay, let's get the answer.
Who said 0? Okay, so the total cost of the project of the house itself was 1.2 CR, which includes everything, like even the EV, car, every utilities and everything. And the overall total project cost was 2 CR. Thank you.
Okay, so moving on to SSP, the Student Satellite Program of IIT Bombay. As you just heard Akshay talk about Pratham, now they will come and talk about some of their more recent projects. So please give a round of applause for SSP.
Hello everyone, we are Student Satellite team of IIT Bombay. Next please. Yeah. So as Akshay talked about Pratham, so I'll ask a quick question. So any guesses on what was the budget of Pratham mission? Entire thing, from building to launching. 5 lakhs, 3 lakhs. So yeah, the correct answer is 1.5 crores. So that's the scale we are working on. So Pratham was our first satellite which we launched in 2016. It was launched by ISRO in 2016 on its PSLV, as you can see, PSLV C35. And the mission was termed as 90% successful by ISRO. So yeah, moving on. So what are we currently working on? This was launched in 2016. So we took on new missions, new challenges. Next please. So first module we are working on is called stats. So stats is our attitude determination system. So what is attitude? Anyone has any idea? Not that attitude used in general use. Yeah. So attitude is different from altitude. Altitude is the height. Altitude is the orientation of your satellite, in which direction it's pointing. So this module that we are developing, it determines the orientation of your satellite, and the precision of this is 0.01 degrees. So why do we need such a high precision? So let's say your satellite wants to point on some particular point on Earth and take some image. So this can be used to point to an accuracy of 0.01 degrees. Next please. Next up we have our antenna deployment system. It's called Sanket. So when you are working on some small satellites, there is a lot of space and mass constraint. So you can't launch your satellite with the antennas deployed. So as you can see in the diagram, the antennas are coiled around. We use something called a burn wire mechanism, and when the satellite is in space, we use the burn wire mechanism and the antennas are deployed. Next please. Next up we have our social goal of the satellite. So slow scan television SSTV module. So once the satellite is launched, this module will send some preloaded images down to Earth, and these signals can be intercepted by anyone, let's say some school student who has a handheld radio. So this can be an educational activity where the students receive the signals and they decode the signal and they can see images from the space. Next please. Next up we have ham radio club and ground station segment. So this segment of the team caters to the ham radio community all over India. So we conduct some events and workshops. So the most famous of which is Ground Station Workshop, GSW. It's an annual event where we teach college teams from all over India how to build your ground station from scratch. You can see some of the images of our own ground station, which was used for receiving signals from Pratham. And this is our setup in the lab, which has a lot of communication related instruments. Next please. Next up, we are participating in a competition called CanSat India. So CanSat India is a competition where you are given a problem statement that you have to fit all the subsystems of a satellite in the form factor of a can. So the size is this much. So you have to fit all the subsystems, and it will be dropped from a height of 1 kilometer. And you have to ensure that all the systems work. You receive, transmit signals, you can get all the data. And you have to ensure that it's a safe landing. So that's a competition we are working on, and we use something called reaction wheels to stabilize the satellite so that it doesn't tumble. Next please. So these were all the modules that are used in the satellite. So the overarching mission of the team is CubeSat mission. So what is a CubeSat? So CubeSat is a small satellite which has the dimensions of 10 cross 10 cross 10 centimeter cube. So you can imagine it's a small satellite. We are working on something called a 3U CubeSat. So 3U CubeSat is 3 1U CubeSat stacked together. So it will be a 30 cross 10 cross 10 centimeter satellite. Next please. So in the satellite, what are the subsystems we have? Firstly, we have mechanical subsystem which does the design. So you design the structure, you make sure the structure is structurally there is structural integrity in the CubeSat. You ensure that the satellite is not heated up too much. Then we have electrical subsystem which does all the circuitry, all the onboard computing, all the power stuff. Then we have communication. So obviously once you send to space, you need get some data back, you need to send some data back. So communication subsystem handles this. Next up we have GNC, guidance, navigation and control. This is the control system of our satellite which controls the orientation, and you can control the satellite and the orientation. The last subsystem is instrumentation, which works on all the sensors and interfacing the sensors with the satellite. And obviously we have our non-tech which does all the web design and finance of the team. Next please. So this is the team. That's it. Thank you. You can scan this QR code for the link trees of HRC and SSP.
थैंक यू सो मच एसएसपी. कितने लोगों को इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन के सिग्नल्स को कैप्चर करना है? कॉन्टैक्ट देम. उनका बहुत मस्त इवेंट होता है, मैंने किया था फ्रेश ईयर में. सो या थैंक यू एसएसपी. नेक्स्ट अप वी हैव rocket team. So we welcome ITV rocket team, please here. Great rocket team, guys.
Hey, what's up everyone? Good evening. So we are the rocket team. I'm Samiksha Patel, business head of the IIT Bombay rocket team, and with me I have my co-business head.
Hi guys, my name is Anish.
Yeah, so let's begin.
Okay, so firstly I'll tell you more about what the team is and what do we do. So we are India's first in-space and Prime Minister Office recognized tech team, consisting of more than 30 plus students from undergraduate to PhD level, from all across the departments. So we build high-power rockets completely in-house for competing in the world's largest inter-college rocketry competition, namely the Spaceport America Cup.
Okay, so before we move on to what is the Spaceport America Cup, I'm pretty sure that all of you, when you were kids, had this dream of becoming astronauts or becoming rocket scientists and launching your own stuff into space. But as you guys grew up, those dreams were left behind. So here we are helping you to catch up on your dreams. So let's get on to the next slide, please. Yeah, so what is the Spaceport America Cup? The Spaceport America Cup is the world's largest intercollegiate rocketry competition in which more than 24 countries participate and more than 150 plus streams from all across international colleges and universities participate.
So we are also proud to share that the IIT Bombay rocket team had participated in SA Cup 2023 this year, and the team successfully launched and recovered our inaugural high-powered rocket named Adyant. We are also proud to share that we were ranked 66th out of 159 participating teams, and we were placed first nationwide in our very first attempt at the competition.
Okay, so another quiz time, a chance to win another freebie. What do you think is the maximum speed achieved by our very own rocket Adyant in the Spaceport America Cup launch? Okay, so you need to stand up and quickly tell your answer. How much?
Mach 2. Wrong. Okay, who said that?
That's the correct answer, everyone.
Please stand up and come in the first row for your freebie. And that's fine, that's for pata at least. Okay, so Adyant soared to a height of 8,984 feet, achieving a top speed of 282 meters per second.
Okay, so as you can see, these are the highlights of the SA Cup. Over here, you can see Adyant being prepared for its launch. That is the launch pad. Over here, you can see the security check being conducted by the SA Cup officials and executives before the launch. And over there, the huge structures that you see are all the rockets that have been brought by all the colleges from all across the world.
Okay, so you have a short launch video.
Clear sky. We are launching in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
So yeah, this was our SA Cup launch. Pretty amazing, right?
You can actually check out the actual rocket that we used in this launch, the one that you saw in the launch video, over there in the Song Well. So do check it out after this orientation.
Okay, so now coming to the team's various subsystems of the team. The very first subsystem is the propulsion subsystem. They are responsible for making rocket propellants. They design, manufacture and test rocket engines. Currently, we are working on solid rocket motors. The second subsystem is avionics, which is also called the brain of the rocket. They create flight control systems for tracking rocket during the flight, and they conduct post-flight data analysis.
Coming up next, we have the airframe and recovery subsystem, which is responsible for designing and manufacturing the entire structure. It takes care of the rocket body's aerodynamics, and it also ensures proper deployment of the parachutes for the successful recovery process. Coming up next is the business subsystem, which is responsible for scouting and bringing in sponsorships. It is also responsible for managing all the social media handles of the team, and we also work on logistics and operations.
Okay, so apart from launching the main rocket Adyan, we also have smaller versions of the main rocket, namely Adyan GR1 and GR2, which are used for conducting various small-scale launches all across the country. Currently, we have had around 3 to 4 small-scale launches. These rockets were made completely in-house, and we attained an apogee of 350 plus meters, and the rockets were successfully recovered as well.
So this is our team, and who knows, you might be the next face over here. Also, coming to the perks of joining the team, of course, you'll be getting guided by officials and executives from ISRO and DRDO and other industry experts. You will get hands-on work experience on making your own rocket, and the best part, team treats after everything that you achieve.
Okay, so we are also proud to share that our team was successful in various events and competitions. We were ranked first in the Engineers Congress 2023, second in Techriti and Exhibition, which were held at the annual technical fests of IIT Kanpur and IIT Roorkee. We were also the second runners-up in Animation 23, which was organized by Synapse, the annual technical fest of DICCT.
Okay, so there is another chance to win a freebie. Let's go.
So quickly do this. ये idea पता नहीं पहले चुराया था, but ठीक है ये कर लो. I have the account access right now. I'll check and randomly select 3 people for the freebie. So जल्दी.
Already followed है.
कोई बात नहीं यार, unfollow करके follow कर दो फिर से.
ये random होने वाला है तो जल्दी करो.
Be fast, guys. So the countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, and let's go.
Okay, so you have 10 more seconds left.
Fast, जिससे भी follow नहीं किया, do it fast, guys.
Okay, so I've sent a follow request to 3 of you. So these people will, if you are having the follow request, please come and sit here. You will see the freebie at the end of the presentation.
So 3 of you have been sent follow requests from the IIT Bombay Rocket Team's official handle on Instagram. So if you are one of those lucky guys, oh, there's 1, there's 2. Where's the 3rd one?
हम check करेंगे तो ऐसी हाथ पर उठाना.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, so you can come towards the front and have a seat over here. Who's the 3rd one, guys? Come on, check. Also, just another thing. We'll also be running another freebie contest in the next 2 or 3 days. So stay tuned. Thank you, everyone. Lift off.
Thank you so much, Rocket Team. In just 2 years, they have made so much progress. That's phenomenal. So Rocket Team, guys, loved their rocket so much that they didn't even agree to put it in cargo, and they carried it all the way to US with them in the plane itself, and brought that back. It's near in the expo there. Have a look after the orientation. The next team we have here is Team Stride. So give it up for Team Stride. Welcome, guys.
Hi guys, so I hope you got a glimpse into our team through our video. So we are Team Stride and we aim to build a unique quadruped which can walk autonomously on any terrain. So we have three subsystems, computer vision, planning and controls. I am Anubha from the planning subsystem.
And I am Somodip from Computer Vision Subsystem. So today we will guide through what the exciting work we do at Stride. So let's jump to our first subsystem, that is Computer Vision. So as you can guess, to build a autonomous vehicle, what the first thing you think of? Can you guess? Anyone?
Image recognition.
Anyone? Anyone?
AI.
Anyone? What? Okay. So let me tell. It's not the out-of-box like approach like cramming one night before your exam. It is just to be at your right path, like our counterpart. So for that, we have our lane detection model that can navigate our bot safely through identifying the lanes of the road through precise positioning. And also, as you can guess from your JEE journey, that your path may not be free from obstacle, right? So for that, we have our object detection model that can identify all of this in image or a video through its location. And also, to ensure the accuracy, we have implemented Kalman filter through sensor data fusion and to predict the position of your bot in future. And also, it empowers our bot to reliable tracking through prediction. And also, like cherry on the cake, we have our doll versus human decoy model that can differentiate the difference between dolls and human in a rescue operation. It is very needful to the competition like Robocop rescue, and it ensures that your bot will never confuse between doll and human. So now the big question, right? How can your bot perceive the knowledge about the surrounding? So for that we have our environment mapping techniques. So as you can guess, it's not a simple process, right? Like attaching a single camera on your bot set and getting the knowledge. As you can guess, the single camera system is very slow and inaccurate in measurement. So that we have upgraded our system to multiple camera plus LiDAR setup that can give a speed of light accuracy. And also by running a depth detection model on the image captured by this setup, we have gained the insightful knowledge of the surrounding. So I think our bot can save lives, right? What do you think, Anu?
Yeah, surely. So now, after we have the environment and the map, we move on to the planning subsystem. Now, think of planning essentially like how you use GPS throughout the city, right? So, planning in robotics involves both global and local planning. Now, global planning gives you a path from the starting point to your goal point, and it considers all obstacles and constraints. Now, there are multiple algorithms for this like A star, Dijkstra, and RRT star. We tried all of them and we found that RRT star suited our needs the best in terms of execution time and other factors. As you can see, RRT star sort of makes a tree-like structure and it chooses the most optimum path based on time and distance. Now, local planning, think of it like a robot's reflex at any given time. It tries to follow the path generated by the global path. It involves gate planning, which is about how the robot moves. It also involves inverse kinematic, which determines the joint angles of each leg of the robot at each position that it's moving. Now, we've also used the Kalman filter, where it helps you predict the position of the robot at each particular time at the given environment at the exact location.
Okay, so now we have our 3D map ready and also the optimal path to reach out the goal. So I think now we should initiate our movement. So for that we have our control subsystem. Here we try to calculate the torque through motor controlling and ensure our bot can measure perceivably the gate patterns. I think there should be a test of algorithm, right?
Yeah, so for most low-level tasks, we use the PID controller, which stands for Proportional Inverse Derivative. But then, to achieve overall control, we use the MPC controller, which optimizes error using, in the current state and in the desired state, using the least amount of control inputs possible.
Okay, that's not the end. In near future, we try to calculate the whole environment in ROS and also implement it in the hardware so that we can participate in the Robocop 2024 as soon as possible.
Our team is very interdisciplinary, so you will be exposed to all subsystems subsequently. And yeah, that is it from our side. We hope you were intrigued and we hope to see a lot of you joining us and innovating with us. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
So, you just saw sort of a robot dog? What about robot humans? Okay, wait. Okay, so what about robot humans? Like, you could handshake with them, they could be roaming around in libraries, attending classes with you. So, that's what Humanoid project wants to achieve. So, next in line is Team Humanoid. Give a round of applause.
So hey guys, hope you all had fun watching the video. It was quite fun to me. Now, right, so this was just a small intro into all the cool stuff you'll be working on. Now, moving on to our vision, we envisionate having a campus filled with humanoids who would be helping us out in our daily industry stuff. Like, for example, we just saw the library assistant bot. We're also planning to have an invigilation bot in LHCs during test time. And in the process, we would love to build an environment which would promote student-led research and innovation. Now moving on to the subsystems.
Right, so primarily we have these four major subsystems. I'll walk you through the first two. We have, of course, the artificial intelligence and perception subsystem, where we work on all kinds of machine learning models and various sorts of models to develop the brain of our humanoid. And besides that, the navigation subsystem is working on finding the most efficient path to direct our humanoid to move and perform all sorts of activities. Now I'd like to hand on to Pranav who will continue.
So the next subsystem is the controls one. What if the humanoid wants to move itself around, or what if it wants to grab any object using its robotic arm? This is where the control subsystem kicks in. We employ various control techniques so that which work in sync with each other so that the humanoid can achieve its task efficiently. So now you have the AI part sorted, navigation stack is done, and you also have the control algorithms to make it running. But what about the humanoid's body? This is where the robot design subsystem kicks in. Designing every aspect of the humanoid, including the mechanical part, and also to make it aesthetically good looking, is what the robot design subsystem does. Okay, so this was a brief overview of our subsystems. Over to Siddesh.
And now, it's the time to dive into the realm of experiences our humanoid can provide you. Yes, you heard it right. We have, in this Somwell, we have a stall put up where you can go and interact with a humanoid. You can ask a question, you can give it challenges to figure out objects of interest around it and get ready to be astonished. Handing over to Ayushman.
Okay, so now for the more cool and exciting stuff, the range of technologies and tech stack that we use. So if you are robotics hungry, we use robotics operating system and Gazebo to test out our models before it hits the ground. If you bleed mechanics and physics, we have SolidWorks and Fusion 360 and AutoCAD so that all the designing and the physics could not go wrong. Now talking about the AI and other stuff, to chat with the humans and to interact well. We use Rasa for the chatbot model and of course ChatGPT to handle things that we cannot handle. And there is place for embedded system enthusiasts as well, as we are using NVIDIA, CUDA and Jetson to bring our models to life. So yeah, thank you very much and stay tuned for further updates. Follow us on these socials. We have imagined it and let's bring it to life. Thanks.
So again, a huge round of applause for Humanoid project. इतना धीरे जोर से बजाओ यार. So moving on to the next tech team. So the next tech team is called Rakshak. They build UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles. So all of you must have seen drones in one orientation or the other in Insta, have you? अरे no बोलने वाले UG orientation में नहीं आए थे. हमारे orientation में drone दिखाया था.
बजट कम हो गया.
अरे ठीक है. So Rakshak builds UAVs. So they'll show you some of the cool drones. So give a huge round of applause for Rakshak. Okay, before that, there is a video that we would like to show you. So yeah. Hopefully नींद चली गई होगी जो भी आ रही थी. तो आप let's welcome team Rakshak.
So good evening everyone. So I have heard that someone mentioned कि drones वगैरह नहीं रखे institute में. You do check out like somewhere में हमने थोड़े तो रखे हैं. So starting with the team Rakshak's orientation, a mile of highway will take you a mile, but a mile of runway can take you anywhere. So that's the motto of our team currently, which we build UAVs. Next slide please. Next slide. Yeah. So who are we? So Rakshak means protector, which basically in flood affected areas. For example, next slide please. So this is the recent most drone which we have worked on, which is named as Skyhawk. It has capability of providing around 5 different payloads at different locations with an accuracy of about 2 meters. So this is the recent endeavor which Rakshak has done. Next slide. So these are our legacy drones, which are mostly fixed wing. You can, how many people know about there are 2 types of drones, fixed wing and rotary wing? Do you guys know that? So the difference between the previous drone and this drone is that basically there's a wing on it, and the other drone has a rotor on it. So, yeah, flaps. No, this is the wing. The latter part of the wing can be termed as flaps. Like if I say it in layman term. Next slide, please. So Team Rakshak comprises of 4 subsystems. The first is software, avionics, which deals with controls and communications, aerodynamic subsystem, and the marketing subsystem. Next slide, please. So starting with the brain of our Team Rakshak, that is avionics subsystem, which deals with certain crucial tasks like
path planning, waypoint navigation, autonomous flight by providing a certain type of coordinates. Next slide, please. So this particular subsystem also deals with electronics part of our team, that is basically dealing with sensors, GPS, cameras, and also acquiring orientation of the drone with the help of gyroscopes, accelerometers, and compass. Next slide, please. So before getting it into the real stuff, which can be implemented on an actual UAV, you need to perform certain kind of simulations. So as you can see that you have to perform those simulations on your laptop preferably before getting it into the real stuff. Next slide, please. So this is particularly testing of our payload, which was done by Skyhawk. So as you can see that we have ensured that there should be less amount of drag or something like that during our payload delivery, and it was done autonomously. Next slide, please. So starting with the next subsystem, that is aerodynamics and manufacturing subsystem, which can be termed as skeleton of our team Rakshak. That basically designs the entire thing based on your problem statement. You need a particular plane that can fly over 2 kilometers at an altitude of 100 feet. So that particular problem statement is used to be solved by aerodynamic subsystem. Next slide. So this is how we proceed in aerodynamic subsystem. We deal with how to design the drone from scratch by using techniques like preliminary design, computational fluid dynamics for analyzing what kind of forces are acting on the drone, and then finally generating a model, which you can see over there on the software. Next slide, please. So there comes the most fascinating and fun part, that is like where you get to bond with the team, that is fabrication and testing. So as you can see that we take simple materials like balsa wood or Depron in order to generate the entire airframe or body of the drone, and then we perform cool maneuvers, not just like Top Gun, not like this Top Gun Mavericks or something, but we do test it out on Gymkhana ground. Next slide, please. So the next subsystem is software subsystem, which particularly deals with object detection, AI/ML, and deep DL related and NLP related stuff also. Next slide. So this is basically if you want to identify, let's just say like your drone has to identify people from in flood affected areas to provide them food or any kind of shelter, or even to spot like they are in the need of rescue. So those kind of things are handled by software subsystem. That also includes image segmentation and super resolution. Basically, you need to identify whether there's a person on the roof of a house or not. So next slide. So this is how a particular software subsystem works. We capture the video and we map the video like where it is actually coming from. We detect what kind of object it has detected. It could be a person, it could be a let's just say like something which the rover, the UAV has to pick from a particular place, and then it acts accordingly. Next slide. So the non-core part of our subsystem, that is business team, which basically deals with bringing sponsors, designing our web and application, media and publicity for handling our social media accounts, and creative design. That is the most fun part, I would say, at least common in culturals, tech, or any sports council. That is t-shirts and hoodies. Next slide. So this is how you can see that the LinkedIn page of our team, the website, and what kind of t-shirts we have recently designed in our team. Next slide. So the recent achievements of our team is like we have been part of recent conclaves, research conclaves held by IIT Indore in the previous year, which we have won the best presentation category award. We have also participated in Inter-IIT Tech Meet, and we have constantly been participating in competition held in America, that is SUAS. That was recently termed as SAE 2015. Next slide. So that is the team Rakshak. Please scan the QR code to get to connect with our social media account. Thank you.
So a huge round of applause for Raksha. Moving on further into the orientation, well, Rakshak and Rocket team aren't the only tech teams who like to work in the air. We have another tech team coming to present their project. They build solar-powered airships that race. So that sounds pretty interesting. So give a huge round of applause for Team Spark.
So just a correction, it's not just racing, it's about research too.
Okay, so next slide please. So what could be an airship? A basic category difference I would say is somewhat in between a balloon and an airplane. So what would you expect from an airplane would be next slide please. So first of all, going through the structure of an airship would be something like a gondola, which could have people over there, and the rudders and elevators, which could use you to change directions as and when required. So the basic difference or the utilization of airships would include use of helium as a lifting gas instead of any other lifting or propulsion systems like that consume a lot of fuel and are today and in today's scenario are non-sustainable. Next slide please. So the major difference in terms of airplane is the heavy engines that require tons of fuels and they emit a lot of carbon. Next slide please. So in terms of a balloon, they also require a lot of fuel and they depend on the hot air. But we pressurize our own gas. That could be helium, that could be neon, that could be argon, any of the inert gases, nitrogen, you say, and so on. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are all the stated advantages. Next slide, please. Okay, so what are the applications that could be used in 2004 Athens Olympics? If you could Google and find it out, there was a Goodyear plane that was used for surveillance and for mapping all the activities in order to reach out to maximum people and also to advertise about the ongoing Olympics. Next slide, please. And also, like Team Rakshak does on one of their part, we also do relief material supply in regions where you could require many of the flood prone or the earthquake prone areas for their relief supply. Next slide please. Also in terms of communication, where in particularly in the northeastern or the hilly terrain where you would require the infrastructure in terms of communication, but you could not deploy or establish any of the known techniques of infrastructure, you could employ just an airship and it could be used as an interface in between. Next one. In terms of research, you could gather a lot of data since airships have an ability to withstand at a constant height or an elevation, and that could be used for any of the researchers. Next slide. This video could be an advertisement of ECEL 2, and we have used their promotional campaign of NPCI as a part of their annual event. So you could see an airship hovering around, people scanning it, people knowing about it, and that's the scale how we could go into the major public events. Could you, any one of you, guess the length of this airship? 3.4 meters. Next slide, please. So this is just the stuff that you could look around. I would not ask you to look into it, but this is part that we do and we aim and we enrich to carry a legacy forward. Next slide. So what are our recent achievements? You could see emergency rapid deflation device, which is going to a particular altitude and then leaving out a gas so that the system that you have deployed in your to say device or a high maintenance device that you don't require to fall or to get tampered. So you could just leave some of the gas and then stall at a particular height or even come down. So that's where we were. And this was the achievement of Airship Regatta, wherein we were competing with 18 of the international teams. This conference was held in IIT Bombay itself, and we were 5th by time and 8th by rank. Next slide, please. So this is a video wherein you could see the GoPro being deployed to our own airship. And this is how you would see a particular airship being mounted. So apart from the controls and electrical components, you could see the envelope also in order to hold the gas, and then how well it stalls and how well it waves around as and when you could require using a just remote control.
Yeah, that's it. Scan us to know more and see you all in Somfire. Thank you. So I already see someone leaving. So I think I get it that y'all are sort of getting bored. So we'll try to wrap this up quickly. So moving on to the next team. We have Team Genesis who are trying to innovate new robotic solutions to our common problem. So give a round of applause for Team Genesis.
Hello everyone, I'm Sajal from Team Genesis. So, what is Team Genesis? We are a group of tech enthusiasts and tinkerers, and we make whatever robots we think we can learn new things from, right? So, we are not restricted to any one project, and we work on whatever we think is interesting. Our motto is keep it simple, stupid, which basically means whenever you are trying to design anything, try to keep it as simple as possible to achieve the desired result. So how we started is, we were originally a team of 4 people who participated in ITSP and XLRA together. And at that time, we were really enthralled by what was happening here. We participated in tech teams as well to understand how things work in IIT Bombay. But we noticed that there was not any one team which was focusing solely on robotics and trying to learn various aspects of it. And that's why we formed one ourselves. We recruited a few people back in October, and we are the youngest tech team here in IIT Bombay because we've been officially recognized just a few months ago. So some more past projects that we've done include Mesmerize. This is in TechFest, so that's a line following and path planning robot. We also participated in Boeing aero modeling, where we made a very cost-effective design using simple plastic components. And in ITSP, we made a self-balancing robot. Now our current projects include, we are continuing the ITSP project, but we are adding more features to it, including computer vision, and we're trying to make it balance and move around with more robust controls. Grover is a 6-wheeled independently steering vehicle, so all 6 wheels can steer, so it can strafe like a crab or turn on the spot as well without slipping. We are doing that mainly so that the mechanical subsystem learns how to make robots that have a variety of joints, because it involves a lot of trial and error with CADing and adjusting the place. Recently, we've taken up a third project, which is to make a robotic arm. So we aim to make a 6 degree of freedom robotic arm, which will have stackable cycloidal gearboxes. And basically, what's written there means that we are trying to make it modular, right? We want to be able to put in different components for different applications and vary the loads that the robotic arm can be used for. We have more ideas, but we obviously do not have the bandwidth to work on them right now. But we will take them up in the future once we think we have worked on these satisfactorily. So, apart from what we are doing in our interest, 2 of our projects are also registered in a national level competition hosted by the Gujarat government called RoboFest Gujarat. And we have cleared 2 stages out of 3 already in both projects. And currently we are preparing for the 3rd stage, which will be held in September end. So this is the team. So these are all the 30s in the team, and we are divided into 4 subsystems, which is electrical, mechanical, controls, which also does software, computer vision, which also does machine learning. So recently we had a recruitment process where we took in a few Sophies, and the top 6 people are trainees who are learning technical things, and they will eventually start contributing to our main projects. Right now they're doing something interesting, and we'll have them, we have to finish it in a few weeks. And we also took 4 people for handling all the non-technical things, so that's our business team. Yeah, thanks a lot for listening. We'd love to see you at our stall in Somwell, and once you do, you'll realize that we are a very dynamic team, because we had all our projects ready a month ago, but we've dismantled everything to make the new iterations. And we will show you whatever we have right now in Somwell. So please see us there. Thank you.
That was an amazing presentation by Team Genesis.
Now we will move on to the next team, that is the Mars rover team. They build prototype for Mars rovers and send them off for various international and national competitions. So give it up for Mars rover team.
Hey guys, good evening. And can I get a good evening back? Good evening. Okay, thanks a lot. So I'm Harsha, one of the 3 team leads of Mars rover team, and I'll be briefing you about what the team is about and why you should join it. Yeah, so firstly, we are a team of about 40 students from across different departments and across different years. We work together to build our road prototypes for international as well as national competitions. You can see that last year we participated in International Rover Challenge in Bangalore, and we even went to USA for University Rover Challenge. Next. So yeah, I'll brief you about what our team structure is. So our team is divided into 3 technical subsystems. The first subsystem is mechanical and biosciences subsystem, and it is further divided into 3 other subsystems. The first is mobility, then robotic arm, and then bioassembly. So mobility is what makes the rover move, and that takes care of the suspension, wheels, and chassis of the rover. So next please. And next up is robotic arm, and this is very common in all the mechanical subsystems. We design, we manufacture, and then we take action. And then there's a loop, we then take feedback and then design again for better iterations. Then, yeah, bioassembly. So, bioassembly takes care of life analysis and soil analysis. So, this subsystem takes sample of soil, then transfers it to the bioassembly present on rover, and then tests it for any life analysis and soil analysis. So this is our structure. You can see some images, some simulations, and yeah, next. So the next subsystem is electronics and controls subsystem. So this is again divided into 3 divisions. One is hardware, and communications, and controls. Hardware is what takes care of the electrical components on the rover, and it can be the processing power of the rover, it can be drivers of motors, and all sorts of things related to electrical parts. And here you can see that the simulations done, and on the top left you can see our makeshift base station. So base station is required to communicate with the rover at a distance, so that you can control it remotely and then communicate with the rover. On top right, you can see our ruckus. Ruckus is a device used to communicate between base station and rover for long distances. Yeah, and then we have software subsystem. So software subsystem is divided into 2 parts. One is autonomous navigation, and other is image processing and computer vision. Autonomous navigation takes care of very interesting algorithms for planning the motion of the rover and searching for any landmarks on the field so that it can move autonomously. So it can include path learning, it can include reinforcement learning. Then for image processing, we use AI algorithms, and so this over here you see is an algorithm called YOLO, and it is for object detection. Next, please. So yeah, too much talking, and let's see our feed from rover. So here you can see arrows guiding the rover autonomously. The arrows are detected by our custom algorithm, and it is directing the rover to a definite position. This video is from one of the competitions we participated last year, International Rover Competition. Yeah, so certainly this little time was not enough to give you all details. So we will be conducting another orientation just before your recruitment. So to be updated, join us on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and you can even visit our website, and that's great. You can contact us anytime. And while you are at it, I'm up for any questions you have. Any quick questions? Okay. Sorry? Rover is on Earth because we need testing before sending it to Mars. Sorry, brother. Yeah. And for getting into the team, there will be recruitment process which you shall be conveyed shortly. There will be mails, there will be posts on Instagram, so you will be updated. Okay, thank you.
Also, the rover is here in Somfire, so do check it out when you leave from here. Moving on to the next team, we have Team UMIC with innovation right in their name. If you see a bunch of kids driving a white car in the institute, it's probably UMIC testing Cedrica. So yeah, let's give a round of applause for UMIC.
Hello everybody. Hello, I'm Aryan and that's Dusty and we are the managers for Team UMIC and UMIC stands for Unmesh Pashubala Innovation Cell. So Team UMIC is the oldest and the first tech team of IIT Bombay and our trophy cabinet speaks for itself. How many of you have seen the movie Three Idiots? So if you remember there was this drone scene in Three Idiots, right? And that drone was made by Team UMIC. So before coming to IIT Bombay, you are aware of its existence. So Team UMIC's legacy dates back to the late 1990s when we were established by Professor C. Amarnath's guidance. And today our team has produced some of the leading industry robotics experts who are the leading face of companies such as Honda Japan, Dirk, and even the founders of teams like IdeaFold. Moving forward, I would like to give you a brief overview of some of the achievements we have had over the past 2 decades. Some of the latest achievements include winners of the ASME Student Design Challenge in the year 2017, the Automotive Challenge in the year 2017, and we were also the winners of the Mahindra Rise Challenge from the years 2015 to 2018. One of the biggest milestones of Team UMIC was to receive the Mahindra E2O car, which was completely customized by Mahindra itself, and that car is something that you'll see running around on campus roads. So if you're ever looking out for a Mahindra E2, remember that's Team Cedrica. Moving forward, what is ASME exactly? So ASME stands for American Society of Mechanical Engineers, and we offer you guys a chance to bring out the real mechanical engineer in you. All the physics that you learned in JE, don't think it was for nothing. You actually have some place to apply that. And the goal of the competition is to develop the most energy efficient robot is capable of harnessing solar and wind energies and capable of performing autonomous tasks just like a human. Moving on forward, coming to Cedrica. So Cedrica stands, as the name suggests, it stands for self-driving car, and the aim is to develop level 5 autonomy cars capable of driving on adventurous Indian roads whatsoever. So at the heart of Cedrica and Aero are 6 main subsystems, which include computer vision, which are the eyes of the robot, followed by localization, which is the guiding north pole of the robot, and then we have decision making, which acts as the brain. Followed by which we have controls and motion planning, which are the mathematical commanders of the vehicle of a sort. And finally, mechatronics. Mechatronics is responsible for the hardware tinkering of the team. The current challenges that Team UMIC and in particular Cedrica are targeting are the Self-Drive Challenge in IGVC. IGVC stands for Intelligent Ground Vehicle Competition, and Team Cedrica is aiming to deploy their vehicle in the May of 2024. Followed by AWS Deep Racer, so this is a competition that a lot of reinforcement learning enthusiasts among you can target. And finally, we have the research expedition of Team Cedrica also. Moving forward, we have the Indy Autonomous Challenge, which is a long-term, 3-year-long challenge, which aims to develop a level 4 autonomy car that's capable of racing at speeds as high as 80 miles per hour. And last but not the least, the FIRA Robo World Cup set to take place in August of 2024. So this is an upcoming challenge in which the Under-19 World Cup can be participated in by you guys. So that's a competition that you can look forward by Team UMIC. Handing over to Dashti.
Hi, I'm Trashti Doshi, presenting Aero, the world of autonomous drones. Here, sky is not the limit, it is just the starting point. With open propellers and boundless enthusiasm, we, a team of more than 30 students, are on a mission to conquer the sky with our smart, robust, and fully autonomous drones. Here you can see that we built Audrey for the IARC Mission 9 Hardware Challenge and Jatayu for the UAS Challenge. We have 6 subsystems which work hand in hand to accomplish this mission. These subsystems are similar to Cedrica, except that instead of mechatronics, which is mechanical but plus electronics, we have separate mechanical and avionics subsystems to focus more on the in-depth research. I'm extremely excited to announce that this year we represented India in 2 major international drone competitions, UAS in UK and ICUS in Poland, and we won a lot of awards and prizes in both the competitions. Currently, we are collaborating with tech giants like Mahindra, taking part in competitions like IEEE, and recently we signed an MOU with the WWF for giving them autonomous solution for rescue operation of tigers on the border of Nepal. At UMIC, we have a dedicated work culture which is focused on growth and collaboration. We have weekly all-team meets where we discuss our growth and progress. We have work sessions where all the subsystems come together and solve problems together. And of course, we do not forget to celebrate our success with well-deserved treats. So come, join us on our journey to make skies more safer, smarter, and more accessible to everyone. Stay tuned for more updates on our Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube channels. Thank you.
That was an amazing presentation. Moving on, I would like to welcome team AUV. AUV, if you have ever visited the swimming pool, you've probably seen those guys testing their robots. But yeah, let's give a round of applause for AUV.
All right, hi kids, let's spice things up a little bit. So AUV, what does AUV stand for? Anyone know? Jesus Christ, did you like study for this? So A, autonomous, right? All right. So A stands for autonomous. What does autonomous mean? You know, it should be able to make its own decisions and perform complex tasks, you know, without any human interference. Underwater, of course, completely underwater, you're not allowed to resurface, and that has a lot of complications. And be a vehicle, you know, it should do something. You know, it should, anyway. Next one. So the overview, like firstly, who are we as a team? So we are like a decade-old team, right? We've existed, we were founded in 2011. We are interdisciplinary. We've got a bunch of subdivisions, which I'll talk about later. And we've been doing a lot of interesting things, participating in a lot of big competitions. We have industrial collaborations, you know, like has anyone heard of the company L&T, Larsen & Toubro? Yeah. So we collaborate quite extensively with them. Our major competition is RoboSub. It's held in California. We go there every year. It's a lot of fun. Again, something I'll talk about later. So that's who we are. But now let's ask the question: why AUVs? Like, why would a team, you know, in IT Bombay want to do, you know, solely AUVs for 10 years? Well, number one, they're like super cool. Now let me justify. I know I'm drawing and everything I find, but why AUVs? Okay. So let's say there's a story of a fisherman who goes out to a lake, right? And it's a rough day, he's not catching any fish. But suddenly, you know, he catches a big one. And he's pulling it out, it's almost out, you know, with his rod. And, but he suddenly notices a small ripple. And before he knows it, you know, like a small vehicle surfaces, steals the fish from him and then disappears, never to be seen again. This is what we want to do. I mean, don't you want to, you know the amount of alien conspiracy theories that are going to be stemmed from this? I mean, what do you want to do in life, right? This is sort of, this is who we want to be. Anyway, yeah, so, but on a serious note, AUVs, they have tremendous applications in defense, mine detection, you know, underwater exploration, yada, 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 you know, a lot of cool stuff. And the field is actually kind of exploding right now. Next slide. So here are subdivisions. One is software. You know, we maintain a huge code base which is decade old. We keep updating it, new features, new algorithms all the time, right? You know, these are some fancy words: computer vision, you know, ML based, AI, ML based, whatever. We'll learn about it eventually. Acoustics, acoustic localization, control theory, a lot of math, a lot of coding. That's software, right? Electrical, the electrical subdivision is responsible for building an industry-grade electrical stack. Because underwater complicates a lot of things. You need to be robust to sort of, robust to water, which is bad for electricity, right? And, but really GPIO board, power boards, etc. Again, a lot of fancy terms. Mechanical, so we've built actually 6 vehicles over the period of 10 years. We're not just working with the same hunk of metal over and over again, right? And we kind of manufacture our vehicles, our actuation, we waterproof it, all is done in-house, right? So some of them are, like manually done from start to finish. And the business is touching, it's responsible for the sponsorships, press releases, all the money related stuff. And of course, tons and tons of teamwork, right? Because teamwork is the but yeah, so these are subsystems. Okay, here's a cool demonstration. So that one is shooting a torpedo. This one's passing through a gate. That's actually picking up a handle or a bin. So if you, it's pretty cool. And finally, next slide. Here are recent achievements. We are quite a successful team, and we have been over a long stretch of time. We were second in RoboSub 2016, which is the best rank we've achieved so far. But of course, we are finalists consistently, even post-COVID, pre-COVID, every time. But not only that, we were featured in journals. We have worked with, the Indian Navy, INS Shivaji is an Indian naval base in Lonavala. So we went there last year, worked with them on a project, won the best project award. We've won a bunch of prizes, a lot of cash stuff, all kinds of things, right? Yeah, next. So here's the fisherman excerpt I was talking about. Those who follow. Yeah. Next. So here's a team collage, mostly happy faces, right? That's what's important at the end of the day. So that's us in RoboSub. That's our team photo of the year. Everyone's dressed formally. Very, very rare. Anyway, a decent campus. And at the end of the day, be on the lookout for recruitment. We hope to see you participate in the recruitment process and hopefully be a part of the team one day. All right.
So how many of you are into F1 racing? Okay, so moving on to the last tech team for today, moving on to ITV racing team. Well, as usual, racing with its technical difficulties. So yeah, racing is also the team जिसकी वजह से हमारा orientation late शुरू हुआ था. Just FYI. But ठीक है.
we'll wait. थोड़ा सा again sound का problem हो रहा है, LTP session में problem है. हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. So we'll just wait for 2-3 minutes and then hopefully it will get sorted.
कबड्डी का वर्क होता है यार, बर्बाद हो गया.
Okay, till this is getting sorted, how many of you now feel like joining tech teams? Okay. Now I ask the question, which tech team does everyone want to join? All of them. All of them want to join. एक साथ सब में काम करोगे. चलो, moving on to ITB racing.
So, I'm sorry for the delay from our side, but I think we saved the best for the last. And welcome to the orientation for IIT Bombay Racing Team. And yeah, we are the biggest tech team in the institute. We are a team of 100 plus motivated individuals working towards building India's fastest electric race car. And that's our team from last season. Our vision is to revolutionize electric mobility all over the world and focus on sustainability and innovation at the same time. Moving on to the history and legacy. We started way back in 2007 as a team of 6 individuals in a garage, and we have moved forward from that to a team of 100 plus individuals working still well in a garage. But yeah, that's hopefully a much better one than which we had started with. And as you can see on the board, we have all the cars that we have produced over the years, starting from way back in 2007 and moving on to Evo K, which was built in 2019. We started with building electric cars with the Evo 1 in 2014, and Evolve, which you can see on screen right now, was the last car which we took to UK for the Formula Student competition. Moving on, let's talk about the competition which we participate in. So we participate in 2 important competitions, which are the Formula Student UK competition and Formula Bharat competition. I'll show you a video now to just get a glimpse of what happens in the competition. Well, yeah, so hope that video gave you some glimpse and shivers of what the competition is. I have been lucky to be a part of the team's contingent in my second year vacations. And talking about the team's achievements, well, in the past couple of years, we have achieved a lot in the international space. In 2020, we were first in engineering design. In 2021, we fared well in Formula Bharat as well as in the Formula Student UK competitions. And in 2022, the last time we took Evolve to the competition, we came first in business plan presentation as well as first in system intelligence. Moving forward, so what can you expect from the team? I'll hand over the mic to Lakshay to take forward from here.
Right. So guys, first beginning with, the team will always be there for you. You will be a part of the team that you can call your own. Second, our team is comprised of 4 verticals that come together you'll be working on many interesting projects that have a lot of learning. Working in any tech team gives you the skills from working on softwares to hands-on practical experience on our car. In our tech team, you will get the soft skills necessary such as time management, people and speaking skills that help you thrive in the real world environment. All the F1 fans, make some noise! You will be working on the fastest student-built electric car in India. So the last slide was our dream team, who in this year's FSUK competition bagged the third position in overall concept class and second in the engineering design presentation. Here are some of the glimpses of the fun that we had in UK after and during our competition. So our team is divided into 4 verticals, which make up the mechanical beauty today. The first is the mechanical subdivision, starting with the powertrain from our battery to our motors to the cooling, structural where the aerodynamics takes in cornering, chassis and composites, dynamics for testing and tuning. The electrical subdivision focuses on the motor controller design, which I'm proud to say will be manufacturing in-house. The system integration, which ensures the smooth working, battery management, and controls for how we take in the data. The driverless subsystem had a splendid round in their FSUK this year. We bumped out the 60 kg driver to reduce our average weight from 280 kgs to about 200 kgs. Moving on, the driverless subsystem, the last slide please. The driverless subsystem starts with the perception, where you map out the track using the cones present on the track. Then the SLAM and path planning for optimizing your track, and finally the system integration. Last but not the least, the organization subdivision. The business plan presentation with a high amount of points is where we as investors we as founders of a company pitch to investors. Investors, and the model financials carry out extensive market research, and as you saw, we have bagged many laurels in this space. For moving forward, our marketing team is also responsible for contacting sponsorships and keeping a check on the deliverables, ideating and organizing events like this one, and managing the logistic requirements of the team.
Yeah. So I'd like to just conclude over here with just a slide on all our sponsors which have helped us all throughout the years. And finally, moving on to the last slide. We are a bunch of pretty enthusiastic and smart nerds, you can say, as is evident from all our alumni who have been placed in all the renowned companies and all over the world. So if you give all your efforts to this team, then of course the team gives you back a lot. So yeah, looking forward to you at the stalls at home. Thank you everyone.
Alright, thank you I2B Racing. Give it up for all the tech teams, guys. Make some way for the technical communities. We have 3 technical communities here presenting to you today. The first of them is cybersecurity community. So, how many of you think your data with ASC is safe? How do you know that I cannot hack into AC, sir? Well, let's talk about cybersecurity then. Alright. Welcome cybersecurity community. Wow, that guy looks intense. Wonder what he's up to. Hey, what are you doing? Looks like some serious hacking stuff.
TikTok use just the normal firewall using and encryption overriding, nothing special.
Hey, what's on the commotion about? What are you doing?
Check this out. He's hacking into something super secret.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just giving this some taste of my hacking prowess.
But this is not really exactly hacking.
No, this is totally hacking. Just look at the code and algorithms.
Bro, this is
It's a fake hacking website.
Oh,
Wait, so you're not a real hacker?
I mean, I'm learning.
Don't worry, bro. We were all beginners once. But here, the CSEC team is here to help you learn the ropes.
Oh, really? what's he said? Can you tell me more about it?
Looks like LTP's servers are hacked today. CSEC people have already like fucked up with our systems. The outcome is being seen in their orientation itself. That's a good sign.
अब तो कंप्यूटर में मना कर रहा है
So yes, we are the cybersecurity community, and you just saw a glimpse of the stuff we do. So yes, if you have ever been interested in this, fancy term called hacking, we are the people you come to. And we have actually done stuff. So are we just a fancy hobby club, or do we actually get stuff done? So coming to some of our achievements, some of our team members have got international rank 1 in the individual category of cryptography Olympiads. In the group category, again, they have come international rank 1. We've had people who have done research internships. We've had people who have done publications in the field of cybersecurity. We have had one of our members is even received the OSCP certification, which is a very prestigious certification in the field, industry recognized certification in the field of enterprise security. And it's extremely difficult to get. It has a pass percentage of less than 1%. And coming to our team participation in cybersecurity competitions, in various national competitions, we have come first. In various international competitions, we have held a commendable place. And yeah, we also look into compromising many of the institute-wide applications and websites, and of course report them because we work ethically. But yeah, if you really want to get in the field of hacking, we are here for you.
Let's get to the important part now. What events you should expect from us and what you should be looking out for in the upcoming academic year. So first we have the Tyro CTF, where the CTF basically stands for Capture the Flag. It's a gamified experience where you can enter into the field of cybersecurity. And this particular event is essentially made by us for beginners like you all. So it involves various categories of problems, and you have to code stuff. You have to analyze other code, you have to read research papers, find exploits, and do a lot more fun stuff. We have hardware hacking, a dedicated session where we analyze the firmware present in our routers, or even like CCTV cameras ITV has, and find vulnerabilities and exploit them. Then we have our knowledge transfer or KT sessions, where the experienced members of CSEC as well as the core team of CSEC which is here. So we share our knowledge with you guys through workshops, seminars and small group discussions, things like that. So the aim is that you guys get to learn stuff and yeah. Then we have our ADV CTF. This is a capture the flag competition, which is at a say intermediate or advanced level, and it's held basically at the towards the end of our academic year, so that you guys can use all the knowledge you have been accumulating at by attending the CSEC events and compete among the best people in IIT Bombay and win lucrative prizes. Then we have SEC talks. These are talks by security experts in the industry or by academic researchers like PG students here at IIT Bombay or elsewhere, where you get to explore a really specific domain and interact with the guys who have accomplishments at the highest level in cybersecurity. Then we have our UG symposium. It's a thing we are launching this year. The aim is to give you UG people a platform to present your projects, however big or small, beginner or intermediate or whatever. And CSEC would organize a presentation where you guys can present your ideas to other ITB students and
right? These guys are so insanely amazing. They took a proper permission and hacked safe, by the way. So give it up for the next tech community, InstiX. So as the name suggests, it has to be something cool, right? Welcome Harsh, the overall coordinator of InstiX. Over to you.
Thanks, Akshay. Hey guys, what up? So I guess you guys are, by your faces, I think you guys are turning sleepy. I think that should not happen. But anyway, we'll wrap this up very quickly. Okay, so hello everyone, my name is Harsh Chaurasia and I will welcome you all to the orientation session for one of the newest technical communities at IIT Bombay, InstiX. So, quick question that I'll ask the answers to at the end of the session. What does the X stand for in InstiX? Hold your answers. No, not Twitter, sorry. Hold your answers. I'll ask you at the end of the session. Okay, so what do we do at InstiX is a question that I think you all might be asking yourself. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So, in very simple terms, we at InstiX build scalable digital solutions for everyday problems of the institute community. Okay, bhaiya, iska kya matlab hua? I'll tell you. Okay. Let's take a very simple example. So, classes start ho gayi hain, and you guys are just suffering through lectures, I guess. At least I was in my first year. Okay, so somehow weekend arrives and being taunted by your parents all over the week, now you've decided to finally wash those dirty laundry that have been chilling under your bed for over a week. You take the laundry, you take it to your nearest washing machine, and damn, ye to pehle se occupied hai. What do I do now? Now you just nikal nahi sakte yaar. Now you just take those clothes and you wander aimlessly in your hostel. कि बाकी washing machines कहाँ हैं जो खाली हैं, right? कितना अच्छा होता अगर you would have gotten a list of all the vacant washing machines and dryers on a very trusty mobile phone from the comfort of your very room. So surprise, surprise, that's one of the many projects that we at InstiX work on. Some of the other projects that we also work on are reducing paperwork. So all of you must be living in hostels, and there's a lot of paperwork at the security desks. So we plan to move to a very digitized paradigm in the coming few months, I guess. And then also we'll be aiming to improve women's security in the institute, mental health of the students, and providing an overall inclusive space for every institution in the institute. Yeah, that was implied, but okay. Next slide, please. No, previous slide. Okay, one more, please, previous. Yes. So here at InstiX, we have two subsystems. We like to keep things simple. The software subsystem and the hardware subsystem. Next slide, please. In the software subsystem, we work on anything and Guys, next. Just yes, thank you. We work on anything and everything, ranging from web development to app development, Internet of Things, and of course, the mighty artificial intelligence. Next slide, please. We have a very extensive hardware subsystem as well. In the hardware subsystem, we utilize development boards like Arduino. I guess you guys might have heard of Arduino, at least in makerspace. Yeah. And then sensors like RFID. Okay. Anybody who has seen an RFID sensor scanner? Yes. Where? Sorry. Vaishno Devi. Okay. Instrument. Decathlon. So I don't know if it's implemented in the new in hostel 16 and 1 or 15 whatever, but in some of the hostels we have a scanner where we just tap our ID cards and then it calculates all your mess charges. We don't use paper wale mess cards. Okay? So that was a project built with some other bodies of the institute, and the hardware was provided by InstiX. Right, then we also have LiDAR scanners, cameras, biometric scanners, etc., etc., etc. Next slide, please. So, how do these subsystems come together to build a coherent project? First, we have the ideation phase. In the ideation phase, we identify a problem in the institute. So, it's students like you who come to us कि भैया देखो washing machine खाली थी और मुझे पता नहीं था, right? So that comes under the ideation phase, where we also chalk out a plan for our solution. Then we form a team. Okay, so here's something that's very interesting about InstiX. That unlike most of the other tech teams and whatnot, we do not form a team at the beginning of the year which works all the year round. Since we have multiple projects under execution, we recruit people multiple times throughout the year, so that even if you miss one recruitment cycle, you can appear in the next one. And finally, we have the execution phase. Right? Next slide, please. So here are the team heads. First, we have Mohammad Asif Zamir. He is a PhD candidate in the School of Management, and he has years of shining experiences in Internet of Things, embedded systems, artificial intelligence, parallel computing, and whatnot. And then we have yours truly, Harsh Chaurasia, as a software overall coordinator, and I have around two and a half years of experience in computer vision, AI, image processing, web development, stuff like that. Next slide, please. Yes, so that brings us to the end of this orientation session for InstiX. We have our Instagram page as well, so it would be great if you guys could follow. We'll be updating you all on all our proceedings there. Yes, just before I go, any guesses on what the X stands for? Exploration, okay. Originals, okay. Sorry, those are not the correct options, but you can send any of your guesses on our page, and whoever gets it right gets a treat on me in the campus. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Harsh. Thank you so much, InstiX. We'll be releasing a form very soon, which will be calling for technical issues that you face in the institute. Basically, any issues which can be faced, which can be solved by any technical means. So feel free to share your issues. For the last community for today, last but not the least, we have AI community. So can we have AI community, please?
Yeah, so this is probably the most weighted community you can join. I mean, like, so all the teams you saw till now had a recruitment process and whatnot, specialization, subsystem, and anything else. But yeah, take a look at this video once. Like. I mean, if you guys have watched the Google I/O this year, you might guess what this thing is. But okay, so let's wait for like 15 seconds. If this doesn't play, we'll just skip this.
AI, generative AI, generative AI, generative AI, AI is AI. It uses AI to bring AI.
So basically, this is what OpenAI made Google do this year. So So yeah, to keep up with the current trends and talk to all your peers in the institute as to what they are doing. So we need a friendly community to just be whoever we are. So what is this community? Like, is this a tech team? Is there a process to get into? So let me be very clear. There is nothing like that. You can join it right now, and it's one of the best things you'll be doing today. And there are like three mission statements that we have for you guys. So one is like to create a platform for enthusiasts. Like, you don't have to be deep domain experts to be part of the community, but you can connect with deep domain experts and become an expert someday. And then if you want to collaborate in projects and whatnot, you can find your perfect peer and buddy and so on. And then basically, you want to, these days, like now everyone is building a GPT wrapper and, using it for their own use cases. So like if you're planning to build anything like that, you can, just post up anything on the community and then you can get people to help you out. And why should you join? So like you'll be exploring it early. There are like various other bodies in the institute that can guide you through how to navigate the AI/ML ecosystem in the institute. Like there are C minds and whatnot. But then to actually know what to do and what suits you the best, I think it's best to start out here. And you get to build real projects. You get to network with experts. It's not just the professors in the institute, but also people from outside IIT Bombay. And you'll feel a sense of belonging and keep up with the trend. So yeah, you can go to the next slide. Right, so these are our milestones. Like we launched this year, so like you guys are really special to be having such a thing that started the year you guys came in. So we'll have a launch, and then we'll have hackathon participation, and then we'll also be having some open source projects coming up where you can contribute and get your contributions up on our tools. And we'll also have a bunch of workshops and talks by industry professionals. So these are the broad plan kind of thing for this year. And now let's go back.
Previous thing. Yeah, so we wanted to give you an idea of what AI is, how AI is evolving today. So since 2010, since computational power has increased, there has been a lot of research in deep learning, and it can do amazing things. One of them is music LM. Yeah, go to the previous slide. Previous one. Yeah, the first one, music LM. So what it does is basically it has been trained on a lot of data set of music, and if you give a text prompt, then and if you hum a song, it can generate real song in whatever instrument you want. So we'll be giving you an example. So okay, we would be showing you an example of where we give an prompt to play Bella Ciao, and we just hum that song.
Na 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 na.
And then if you try guitar solo of that is just below it in the first column itself. So these are the musics that have been generated by AI. So it uses deep learning to do that. Next we have another amazing thing, that is generative adversarial networks that
that basically starts from nothing. So there is a website, thispersondoesnotexist.com, where it generates random person faces who do not exist in the world. And we can also show, I guess, so there is another thing, reinforcement learning, where a system itself learns to play. So it is an example of Google DeepMind where the robots learn to play soccer by themselves by giving rewards and penalty to their actions.
A soccer match at DeepMind looks like fun and games, but here's the thing. Humans did not program these robots
And also we
to
can show
play. They learned the game by themselves.
It's coming up with this.
Okay, so here a ape uses Neuralink in his brain to just pick up the signals and learns to play.
He's focused and he's playing entirely of his own volition. One of the things the Neuralinks allow Pages to do is to
So these are the amazing things that can be achieved by using artificial intelligence in today's world.
control his power
So
on the right side.
these are the things that we do. If you are passionate about doing projects like these, building some next level things, having connections with like-minded people in the institute, working on real life projects, this is the right place to be. So these are our social media handles. You can join WhatsApp community, our Instagram handle, and follow us on X.
So yeah, join these communities ASAP right now, and there's also a small contest if you guys are enthusiastic about it.
Me for the day, but yeah. So that was all, guys, for the tech teams and technical communities for the day. We loved hosting you guys. Thank you so much for turning up, and thank you so much for being with us till the end. We would request you to make your way to the Somewell. So all the tech teams have their physical prototypes at exhibition for you guys to have a look in the Somewell.
Guys, this is a quick reminder from the Electronics and Robotics. Do register for the Accelerate, and the window closes at 12 AM tonight. Do register and do communicate the same with your friends. Thank you.
Tiny little announcement from Maths and Physics Club.